It was a time of excess, of big hair, MTV, malls were the place to hang out, and VHS was how we watched our movie films at home. Our film heroes were men's men for men. It was a time when the more muscles you had, the more box office you achieved. And probably the one film that truly represents this era and all of its successes is the over-the-top action film Commando.
If it's a mission no man can survive, he's the man for the job. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando.
Let's party.
Commando is a 1985 action movie film directed by Mark L. Lester, who also directed Showdown in Little Tokyo, which I've reviewed, so go check that bad boy out. Commando follows Arnold Schwarzenegger as John Matrix, an absolute badass who is blackmailed after his daughter Jenny is kidnapped, but these kidnappers have no idea who they are messing with. Our movie film begins with a couple of bin lads dusting a lad. Jesus, it's never safe to take the bins out in any movie film.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
These lads get up to all sorts of devilment when they run over this lad in his own store and blow up this lad in his feckin' boat. Fucking boat! But we cut to a sweet montage of John Matrix muscles as he carries the biggest feckin' log ever. But fuck, it looks like someone is about to sneak up on him. Is he about to be killed next? Oh, 'tis just his daughter. We are then treated to the weirdest montage ever in an action film. God, it all just seems so awkward. Anyway, after that weirdness, they settle down to have a spot of brekkie.
What's in this?
You don't want to know.
She totally put shit in it. But breakfast time is interrupted when an army whirlybird just shows up out of nowhere. It turns out to be John's old friend General Kirby, who John sneaks up on.
No. Silent and smooth, just like always.
How the fuck can that lad sneak up on anyone? He's fucking massive. Kirby is here to tell John that someone has been killing his lads all about the place, and they are probably going to come for him next. So of course, about 2 minutes after Kirby leaves, Matrix gets feckin' attacked. Jenny hides while Matrix goes to the shed to get one of the millions of guns he has. But when Matrix comes back, he finds the soldier Dusht and his daughter has been taken.
Your daughter's safe, Colonel. Whether she stays that way is up to you. My people got some business with you. And if you want your kid back, then you gotta cooperate. Right?
Wrong.
What the fuck, man? Now they could just kill your daughter. And it turns out the bad lads have bushed John's car, but Matrix says fuck that, I don't need an engine, and rolls the thing down the fucking hill. But John the daft ass totally misses the cars and wrecks his own. He then ends up getting the shite kicked out of him and feckin' captured. And it turns out that lad at the start didn't go fucking boom on that boat at all.
Bennett, I thought you were...
Dead? You thought wrong. Ever since you had me thrown out of your unit, I've waited to pay you back.
Why would you even want out-of-shape Freddie Mercury in your elite unit in the first place? This lad even has to use a trank dart to knock Matrix the fuck out. Matrix wakes up and meets Commander Arius, who tells him if he wants Jenny back, he has to go and kill the leader of a country that he wants to make himself leader of. But John couldn't be feckin' arsed doing that.
Fuck you.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that, Matrix, because now Jenny is going to get it.
Bastards.
So to stop Jenny from getting the slicey slice, Matrix decides he'll go and dusht that fiend for them. So later on, one of the bad lads called Sully sees Matrix and this other lad off at the airport, and John tells Sully just how much he likes him.
You're a funny guy, Sully. I like you. That's why I'm going to kill you last.
What the fuck does this lad do to people he hates? On the plane, Matrix says feck this and kills this lad.
Your flight attendants are Susan and Lance, and I'm...
#dusht. I can't decide if this one-liner is either one of the greatest of all time or just super cringe.
Excuse me, how long is the flight?
We land in Valverde in exactly 11 hours.
Thank you. And do me a favor. Don't disturb my friend. He's dead tired.
That poor woman is going to freak the fuck out when she finds that lad dushed. Anyway, Matrix manages to sneak down to the cargo hold and climbs out onto the plane's wheels, only to jump off it like a feckin' lunatic. No fall damage there on him, he's fucking sound altogether. But there is no stopping this beasht of a man as he's on the hunt for Sully, who is busy being a creeper on our female lead Cindy. She wants none of him, but Sully, being the pervert that he is, doesn't take no for an answer and follows her to the car park.
You know, I got something I'd really like to give you.
I'm not interested.
Aw, you don't know what you're missing.
From here, it looks like a nightmare. Would you please leave me alone?
You fucking whore.
That lad went from trying to be a charmer to an internet incel in about 5 seconds. But as that creeper Sully leaves, Matrix shows up and jumps in beside Cindy. And he's such a beast of a man he doesn't need a seat at all. And after fucking wrecking her car, he tells her to wisht and get after Sully. They managed to track him down to a local mall. Wait a second, I recognize this place. That's the mall with the robots from Chopping Mall. Fuck, Arnie would still bush the head off those lads. I would watch that film, Arnie versus the Chopping Mall robots. It'd be fucking great stuff. Matrix somehow manages to convince Cindy to help him lure Sully over to him. Or so he thinks, as she totally rats on him to the mall security.
There's this huge guy outside in a green t-shirt, and he's a paranoid maniac, and he's kidnapped me, and I need your help.
The security lad goes outside to see if she's mad as a bag of spiders or not, and sees this fucking beast of a man, and he's like, fuck this, I'm calling in all the fucking backup I have.
I'll be right there. Want to see me kick some ass?
Oh, wait until you fucking see the size of this fucking lad.
Attention all units. Emergency on a theater level. Suspect, 6'2", brown hair. He's one gigantic motherfucker.
Yeah, if I was you, I would just fucking run. They bring in all the backup they have, but that won't be enough to stop this beast of a man, as Matrix kicks the crap out of the lot of them. Sully spots him, and this being the 80s, he has to get to a payphone to call it in. But Matrix says fuck that and just wrecks the phone booth. And that's when all fucking hell breaks loose.
Out of my way.
Jesus Christ, if you were in that mall, it'd either be the most traumatic event of your life or the fucking greatest thing ever. Matrix gets away Tarzan style and continues busting some heads as he chases Sully. And he even picks up Cindy even though she ratted him out, and for some reason she now decides to believe him. He finally catches up to Sully and rams him right off the road and picks this lad up. And we learn that Matrix is a total fibber.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Matrix. You did.
I lied.
Hashtag dusht. Meanwhile, Jenny has been brought to Arius' mansion and she has a bit of a cry. I bet those tears are for the bad lads, as she knows her owlad is going to kill the lot of them. Back with Matrix, he has managed to track Bennett's man Cook down to a motel room and they bush the face off each other. And we learn what Matrix has for breakfast.
You scared, motherfucker? Well, you should be, because the Green Beret's gonna kick your big ass.
I ate green berets for breakfast. And right now, I'm very hungry.
These two daft idiots go right into the other room while a couple are having a spot of riding. Cook tries to dusht Matrix, but he's all out of bullets.
Fuck you, asshole. Fuck you, asshole.
Oh, but it's Matrix that ends up killing him. Well done, lad, but maybe you should get the answers out of him before killing them. They search Cook's car and Cindy totally unexpectedly finds a clue that leads them to a local fueling building. Matrix, even though he's the size of a fucking house, somehow manages to sneak into the building without being seen by anyone. He even lets Cindy in through a window and they figure out where Jenny is being held. Jesus Christ, that was so easy for them. I guess they didn't have it in the budget to have another mental action scene here. So Matrix needs him some guns to get her back, so he just bulldozes his way into this fucking store and they play a spot of Ready Steady Sweep before the cops arrive. He takes enough fucking guns for a feckin' army, but sadly he runs out of time and gets arrested. But don't worry, as Cindy shoots a feckin' rocket launcher at the cops to save him. Jesus Christ, that could have easily killed Matrix and the cops. But this being an action film, Matrix is feckin' sound. Not a scratch on him at all, so they get the hell out of there. Meanwhile, Bennett and Arius are just waiting around for John to do the job they hired him for. You know, if they had mobile phones back then, this whole film would have been over in a half hour. Meanwhile, Matrix and Cindy have managed to steal a plane and they're on their way to the island. God, Matrix is lucky that this random woman he bumped into knows how to fly a plane. They land near the island and for no reason at all, Matrix decides that he needs to be in a Speedo. You gotta show some beefcake to get the asses in the seats, I guess. Once on land, he finally decides to put some clothes on, montage style. Oh, these lads are going to get all sorts of dusted. But Matrix's flight from earlier has landed at its destination and the bad lads learn that he dusted their guy. So they warn Arius that Matrix is coming for them. But 'tis too feckin' late as Matrix starts to kill everyone and blow the camp to fucking bits. Fucking boom! And it turns out explosions really turn Bennett on.
Welcome back, John. So glad you could make it.
He goes to kill Jenny but finds out that she's managed to escape. But he's having none of this shite. Meanwhile, Matrix is busy killing half the feckin' island. Seriously, how are none of these lads managed to hit him? Look at the fucking size of him. He's the biggest moving target ever. This has to be the most over-the-top 80s action scene ever. And you know what? It's feckin' amazing altogether. Like, what other action hero takes off his bulletproof vest knowing his muscles will be better protection? He even does a spot of gardening before getting back to killing even more fiends. While all this is going on, Jenny is running away from Bennett, who is so out of shape he doesn't even bother to run. Matrix clearly has some cheat codes on, cause he is just laying waste to all these lads and not a bother on them. He even ends up diving through a feckin' window and goes right after Arius and ends up shooting the fuck out of him. Hashtag dusht. He even stops to take in this epic kill. What the fuck? Did Matrix just develop super hearing? How the hell could he hear Jenny from there? Oh well, this leads to Matrix finding Bennett with Jenny, but then he gets feckin' shot by Bennett. But Bennett is a gent of a man and wants to know how John is doing.
John? How's your arm, John?
Come over and find out.
No thanks.
Not wanting to get shot again, Matrix seduces Bennett into a fight.
Come on, Bennett. Let's party.
I can beat you. I don't need the girl.
I can beat you.
I don't need no gun! I gotta kill you now!
That was the greatest way ever to start a fight. Somehow Bennett manages to hold his own against this slab of beef. Jesus Christ, he might actually dusht Matrix here. And then of course he ends up fucking bottling it and gets feckin' electrocuted for his own good. Oh fuck, it's only gone and feckin' powered him up. It doesn't look good for Johnny Boy.
Bullshit!
But then Matrix makes an insane comeback through the power of editing. Bennett, being a sore loser, goes to shoot Matrix, but Johnny is having none of that.
I'm not gonna shoot you between the eyes! Let me shoot you between the balls!
Hashtag dusht. Just incredible. Simply incredible stuff right here.
Let off some steam, Bennett.
General Kirby and his boy show up to the island with Cindy, and they are all in awe of John's muscles. Seeing how much damage Matrix did, Kirby wants him to set up his unit again, but he tells him good luck to that, and himself, Cindy and Jenny get the feck out of there, and our movie film is dusht. Commando is an absolute daft film altogether, and one that is probably best enjoyed with a bunch of friends and a ton of beers. I didn't actually get around to seeing this until my college days, and right away I thought, where the hell have you been all my life? Right from the start, the film has such a high level of 80s cheese that only increases as the film goes. Commando is a great example of what makes a bad film so good. You can tell everyone involved in this project was really trying their best to make something great, but they just ended up with something pure fucking daft altogether. I'm not sure did Arnie know what type of film he was in, but he's playing this so straight that it just adds to the comedy of the film. And Vernon Wells as Bennett is just chewing any bit of scenery he can get his hands on. But sadly, this being an 80s film, Ray Don-Chan as Cindy doesn't really have much to do in the film and is just there to have a female lead. Although that rocket launcher scene is a pure daft moment for her. The film has many quotable lines from Arnie in it, and its action scenes, while over the top, are a lot of fun to watch. But it's the last act of this film that makes it so good. It's as mad as a bag of spiders and just as feckin' amazing altogether. Arnie kills more people in this film's last act than most films do in their total runtime. It really is like putting on the cheat codes in the game and just running around going daft killing everyone without taking any damage at all. You can't get any more 80s than that. Now it does have some drawbacks, as the film script is very paper thin and just a setup so we can have Arnie killing a bunch of lads. And it has every 80s cliche in the book. The film really does date itself to that 80s time period and very much feels like a product of its time, which might put people off. But come on, you know exactly what you're looking for if you go out of your way to watch an Arnie film from the 80s. And Commando is probably one of his most fun and over the top films to watch with a group of friends. I give Commando 7 out of 10 Horshes.